Hey y'all, what's up? Good evening, and welcome to Living on Assignment Radio with your girl, Pastor Jew. I'm so glad to be tuned in with you all live this evening. Hello to everyone listening on iHeart, iTunes, Accelerated Radio, and to all my Facebook livers in the house. Hey y'all, good evening. Glad to be on with each and every one of you tonight. Listen, you are in for another wonderful show tonight. But before we get into that, I want to also give a shout out to Word of Encouragement Church, because in addition to being the wonderful host of this show on Sunday evenings, I'm also the proud pastor of Word of Encouragement Church. Whoop whoop. Whoa. And so yes, and so before I come here and do this, I spend my morning and sometimes my afternoon with my church family at Word of Encouragement. So I just want to give them a shout out always. Because that just completes my entire Sunday. So I pray today that you have wonderful worship for those that worship on Sunday. But if you worship on Saturday or Friday, I pray also that you had a wonderful time of worship and that you got what you needed and got filled in the way that you need to get filled today, yesterday, or Friday. And so, again, I'm just excited. Hey there, Nicole. Hey, y'all. As you all come on in, all my Facebook livers, tap, heart love. Y'all know the drill. And everyone that's listening on iHeart, iTunes, Accelerated Radio, listen, I want you to also share with your family and friends, tweet, text, Facebook, Snapchat. I don't care what you do, but let somebody know that we are on live. Hey, Auntie Penny. Let somebody know that we are on live tonight, Living on Assignment Radio. And so we're going to get into tonight's show because we have a wonderful guest in studio with me tonight. He is no stranger to Living on Assignment Radio. He has been here before, but I'm glad to have him back because every time he comes, it's always a rich conversation and it's filled with so much insight and so much love. And so tonight we're going to be talking about a couple of things. So just hang in there with us. But let's introduce our very special guest, Mr. Dr. Charles Dorsey.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Always good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Glad to have you on air with us tonight.
Happy to
Appreciate
be on
you.
the ground, okay.
Yes. I know that's right. You've been traveling, so tell the folks what you've been up to since the last time you were on with us, because you've been doing a lot of great stuff.
Oh man, just going back and forth from here to the East Coast, trying to help some people who have nonprofits and trying to coach executives and help them to do what they do better.
That's
been occupying a lot of my time outside of doing some things with the things we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
You know, with the state work with electric vehicles. And trying to be a better daddy.
I'm excited. Partner. I know all those things.
Working.
Listen, how are you managing it all? Real quick for the listening audience, as we get into the conversation, how are you managing it all?
Yeah, so I think it's important for people to grow in self-awareness as they grow in success.
Wow, you just gonna start the show like that? You just gonna start the show like boom?
Listen,
I'm just gonna bomb, boom. I'm just gonna throw the bomb out there right in the first 5 minutes.
You asked the question, okay? You said, "How am I managing?" And I
love it.
I feel like I'm in a permanent learning posture, and so where there has been gray area and where there's been uncertainty, I've tried to give myself enough grace to learn and discover that it's easier, I think, to manage failure than it is to manage success.
Wow.
So,
which may account for why so many people self-sabotage.
That's absolutely right.
Because it's easier to manage failure than it is to manage success.
Well, and I think we have to have more conversations about the tips to managing success. Failure leaves you no choice.
Right.
Success offers options, which are oftentimes stumbling blocks, but I'm just figuring it out.
That's all right. Well, thank you. I was just kind of asking, but you just came on in with like the bomb, like bomb. It's gonna just blow it all up and just
Listen, I know who I'm talking to.
Listen,
okay?
I ain't mad at you. So what you say one more time? Self-awareness is key. No, you say it the way you said it.
Yeah, you asked me how I managing it, and I just said I'm growing in self-awareness I'm growing in success.
Growing in self-awareness as I'm growing in success. I love it. I love it. So, Dr. Dorsey, you 7 years ago introduced myself and a bunch of other faith leaders to an industry And for those who are not familiar and you've not heard us talk about this before, it might be your first time, but there are some of you that you've heard us talk about this before. And so it's more of that conversation.
Yeah.
So you introduced us to, in our community, the Living on Assignment Radio community, and folks that we know, you introduced us to the electronic transportation industry.
Yeah.
And I say industry because we're not just talking about owning. Hey, Ann. Hey, y'all. Hey, Reverend Jalita. Y'all make sure you guys come on in, tap, heart love, and share with your followers. But it wasn't about just us, folks in the community purchasing electronic vehicles.
Correct.
Which I saw something really cool today with the Tesla, but I don't want to get distracted.
Oh, yeah. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, come back to Tesla. And it started. You started having these conversations with faith leaders. Hey, Felicia.
Sure.
With faith leaders around electronic transportation. So tell us briefly why the introduction of electronic transportation to the faith community and the community at large was so critical then, and why it's even more critical now. Hey, y'all.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know,
Team Tesla. Yes.
You want to pay attention to the mandates that come from the state level. And we discovered that oftentimes there are literally billion-dollar decisions that offer opportunities for communities to benefit.
Yeah, right.
The faith-based community continues to be a very safe awareness stage for our communities, and I obviously had a lot of experience doing that. And so 7 years ago they said, hey, we're about to move from gas vehicles to electric vehicles in response to climate change, in response to the future of transportation. And I said, you guys are, and they put aside like $4 billion in a year
for this.
And I said, what? I said, you are not about to spend that kind of money and not allow communities that are typically
Say the number again.
$4 billion a year.
A year.
Do the math. like what's seven? That's
what?
20 billion with a B.
4 billion.
So that means that since that time, they have likely built. Let's just bill it at $2 billion.
Yeah.
That means that they have spent over $14 billion.
14 billion. Yes.
I just want to know how much of it have you seen? How much have I seen? You know. And I said, if you're making decisions like that, that's not go purchase a car decisions. That is open a business decisions. That is create an awareness platform decisions. And so I just happen to have access to those rooms. And I want to say to people, like, part of your agency and part of your access has to be not just complaining about the fact that we're left out of rooms, but if you're in the room, helping them think creatively about decisions that can benefit the people you represent. So that's how we got there.
That's how we got there.
And I called somebody that I knew. I was like, yo.
Call somebody that would help get us.
We need to get up in this room.
So
that's how that happened.
I love it. So listen, y'all. I want everyone, if you're not familiar with what's happening with electrification, if you're not familiar, hey, Angela, hey, y'all, Christina, good evening. As you all come in, tap, heart, love, and share with your followers. This is a very important conversation.
Sure.
This is an economic conversation, y'all. This is an economic conversation. If you're worried about economy and your money and everybody else and the money around you, you need to tap in and have some other people tap in.
Big time.
So for 7 years, we have been engaged in conversations, not just with people that sell electronic vehicles. This is not the ultimate goal, is not to get a bunch of people to buy electric vehicles, though you will need to in time. If you're smart, right? That is one of the goals, but there's a larger economic conversation, which is why Dorsey talked about that big number. There's a larger economic number, a larger economic issue in that, in the electrification.
Sure.
Somebody put electrification in the chat. In the electrification industry, black folks are underrepresented.
Yep.
And so the reason that this conversation was important to bring to the faith community, to bring to black and brown churches in LA and around the county actually, is because oftentimes, to what Charles was saying, we are not just underrepresented. We're not represented at all,
Yep.
right? But this is a $1 billion industry that is literally unfolding in front of us.
Thanks.
And nobody's talking about electrification in our communities.
Sure.
And so we've been in this work, I get you would say, having conversations, bringing faith leaders in, educating the community, bringing resources, sharing about job opportunities, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera,
Yeah.
because it's a multi-layer opportunity. It's not just about buying the electric vehicles, though all of us have to think about that at some point, because did you already share about the governor's goal?
Yeah. So he wanted to get 5 million cars on the road by a certain time.
Yeah.
In order to be able to fuel those cars, there were a certain amount of chargers that needed to be installed. In order to install those cars, a certain amount of jobs that needs to be created. In order for those jobs to be created, there's a number of training opportunities that have to be made available.
Yeah.
So you got these 4 layers that are happening there. And I do think that it's important to shout out one of the biggest electric companies in the country, Southern California, Edison. If you get an Edison bill, in the fine print, you'll see tons of incentives. So you have savings, you have consumer, and then you've got entrepreneur opportunities, right? And so when the governor puts out something like that, that has to happen. The first thing that should come to a person's mind is, who gonna do that work?
Right. How that work gonna get done?
Yeah, because the decision is made. This is actually really important.
Yeah.
The decision is made at the level of the elected official, but it is administrated through the arms and the legs and the voices and the creativity of people like you and me.
Absolutely.
And so the people who know that, once that thing passes, they go into immediate, let me tell you how you get this done. And most of us already have that hustle in us. It is the same type of ingenuity that you used to use to get your mom to give you an extra hour outside, or that same type of ingenuity that you used to use to convince people to take risk with you. You take that same skill set, you put it on paper, and you get in front of people, and then you put a price tag on it.
Absolutely.
And believe it or not, they're really not afraid of the price tag.
Right.
They really are just looking for people who they trust and believe can get it done.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So those are the opportunities that are still readily available today.
Yeah, and so part of why we are sharing this is because there are multiple layers of opportunities. I know recently I discovered there's a black-owned company around electronic bikes that's blowing up.
Easy.
That's blowing up.
Easy.
Because that's another wave, another part of this electrification. And so as a result of the work that we've been doing together,
Sure.
and I shared this with Dr. Dorsey, and I'll share it with all of you, part of why we're doing the show. And shout out to the show sponsors, which is Southern California Edison.
SCE.
They are the sponsors for tonight's show, so we give them a shout out.
Got to.
Is because our nonprofit received a grant
Yes, ma'am.
to deepen these conversations. So there is a rebate program that's currently available and open for individuals who want to purchase pre-owned electric vehicles. Why? Because there's a whole new line of electric vehicles available, and they want to also put in the hands of individuals who never bought an electric vehicle, who are skeptical about buying electric vehicles, who are not necessarily in the financial position to buy an electric vehicle, but they want to put the electric vehicles in our hands. Why? To Dorsey's point, because the governor has a mandate. The state has a mandate. And so what better way to ensure that this mandate happens than to empower individuals who would not be able to necessarily go and buy a brand new Tesla or whatever, a brand new BMW electric. But there are rebate programs available.
Absolutely.
Time to add another skill. Absolutely, Felicia, you definitely, because you're an ingenious person, you need to definitely be in these rooms and conversations. So
Just,
go ahead.
I want to bond you here. So let me see. Some of you probably are thinking, what do I have that might actually be useful in this conversation?
Yeah.
So number one, if you have any type of influence from 10 people to 100 people,
Come on.
you can be useful in this conversation.
I am.
If you have access to property, like any kind of property,
Felicia,
sidewalk, parking lot,
Felicia,
home,
Felicia.
if you've got any access to property, you're trying to broker deals. What do you want them to do? You want them to use their money to enhance your property.
Absolutely.
So that you can be a model or an example for what happens when these types of technologies make themselves present in your particular building or in your particular field. That's
Absolutely.
good money right there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If you have any type of regular gathering of people, if I just had a word that you would just want to write down, the word is convening.
Convening.
Like, if you can convene. Now listen, please let me talk to the people. I'm not talking about the people who say you can get 100 people in the room and you can't get one person to return a text message. I'm talking about the people who literally, just because of who you are, just because of the character that you represent, if you have the ability to pull people into a room, you can, here's another word, monetize this opportunity.
Come on.
Right? And help people to see your value, not necessarily because of the technical expertise that you maintain, but the influence that you've brokered over time.
Influence.
Right? And this is why our faith community, this is rebirthing for your church in many ways. This is unexpected revenue to your bottom line. This is entity rescuing opportunity. This is reinvention all at the same time. I'm trying to tell you. And we just happen, like, I'm in the room and I'm like, can I just be honest?
Please.
I don't even want the opportunity. I want to give it to you. I promise you. I'm like, I promise you. And the only reason why I stay in the room is because I feel like one of my responsibilities is to hold the bridge until enough people walk across it and prove to them that we can actually bring the change to our communities ourselves. So that's part of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, because we got to spread the message. And we have to spread not just the message, but the opportunity. And so, again, tonight's show, sponsored by Southern California Edison. Why? Because they want our community to know about the rebates programs that are available for pre-owned electric vehicles.
Go get your SCE envelope.
Yes, go and get it. Go and get it. There are programs out there sponsored by, provided by Southern California Edison. All you have to do is look it up. Southern California Edison pre-owned electric vehicle rebate program, and it's not the kind of rebate where they give it to you on the back end of the deal. It's actual cash rebate, like you actually get a check in the mail. Because
get it before it runs out.
Get it before it runs out. Why? Because they're trying. Again, there is a goal. They want to make sure that folks who would not normally be able to purchase an electronic vehicle brand new have the opportunity. Why? Because electrification is not the wave of the future. It is the wave that we're on right now. It's not the wave of the future. It is the wave that we're on right now. For those that know Word of Encouragement Church, we used to have worship at the Pico Union Project building.
I remember.
Since the pandemic, they have around Pico Union Project building. They have installed. They have had paid. The city has paid to install the electric bikes parking spots, as well as charging stations, and all of it was paid for. All the beautification, all the nice little stuff was paid for by the state. It was not paid for out of their pocket. So again, when we talk about if you have property, if you have land, if you have access, and Felicia, I keep saying your name because I know you got access based upon what you do, right? You can literally have the state put money into building up your land or your property or whatever in order to put the bicycles, in order to put the charging stations and whatever else is out there. Again, that's one opportunity. But to Charles's point, convening conversation is another opportunity, and y'all know that's what I do. That's what I do. And so again, shout out to our sponsor, Southern California Edison, pre-owned vehicle electric vehicle rebate program that's available. I want y'all to go and look it up. I want you all to look up Southern California Edison pre-owned electric vehicle rebate program, and apply. Try it out. It ain't gonna hurt you. It can't kill you, but it's an opportunity that we want to make sure everyone is taking advantage of. Felicia, you listening? I know that's right. I appreciate you. And so recently, tell them about the program we had recently at the LA Auto Show.
So annually we've been meeting at the LA Auto Show, and we meet with decision makers. And we talk about how to continue to advance this message. We're in the room with people who are elected officials. We're in the room with people who are commissioners. We're in the room with people who are state leaders in this particular work. And we're also in the room with your public utility decision makers. So we're in there with LADWP, SCE. We're in there with Southern California AQMD.
Yeah.
The Air Quality Management District,
AQMD,
right?
that's it,
But
yep.
we're also in the room with people from Sacramento who come
Exactly.
down, and we
Yeah.
get in a real small room, and we begin to broker these opportunities. So what Najuma's talking about, and I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. Y'all need to be paying attention to this particular opportunity is significant.
Yes.
So what's getting ready to happen, and I can't say too much because the opportunities are so unique.
Yes.
But we are brokering opportunities for a small group
Yeah.
of faith and community leaders who really want to, number one, use their property.
Yeah.
Number two,
Hey,
who
Andre,
see
Pastor
an
Andre.
opportunity to
Yeah.
actually replace your current transportation
Come
as
on.
if you're using it
Yep.
to maybe get people to school, to get them back and forth. If you have vans and stuff like that, we're
Yep.
looking to get into opportunities where we sponsor
Yep.
or purchase on behalf of organizations vehicles, and we're looking to use that as a model to help other supporters of this work
Yep.
to be in better relationship
Yeah.
with our faith community. This is a small room. So
Yeah.
what Najuma's going to be doing and what I'm going to be doing is saying, hey, do you want to get down?
Right.
We're going to literally host an orientation. Okay. And so
An
what's
orientation.
what's the ask? Be serious.
Yeah.
What's the ask? Show up.
Yeah.
What's the ask? Please don't overcomplicate it. Either
Yeah.
you're trying to get down or you're not.
Yeah.
But I think that this is about to be an opportunity that leads to significant revenue, because
Yeah.
once you come into this room, we will leverage our resources
Absolutely.
to equip you financially
Yeah.
and with information to help us to better equip our community. So that's getting ready to happen.
Yeah. And
By
it's
the
coming.
way,
And-
we've been
yeah.
talking about what used to be the Prove It campaign. I didn't
Right,
say
the
nothing
Prove
about
It
that.
I know. I was gonna
For the
get you
past
there.
7 years, we've
Yeah,
done Prove
the
It.
Prove It
Now we've
campaign.
got to the evolution, right?
Evolution,
And
yep.
that theme is everybody can drive
An
electric.
Yep.
Right? Either, get down or get left behind. 'Cause it's coming.
Yeah. It's coming.
So,
And it's not coming.
Well,
It's
actually, it's
here.
here. That's
It's
actually
here.
true.
It's here. And you might be saying, okay, y'all, I'm not trying to buy another car. I'm not trying to get you to buy a car tonight. I do want you to go and investigate the Southern California Edison pre-owned electric
do it.
vehicle rebate program. I do want you to Google that. I do want you to do that. At least do that. But I also want the community to hear us when we talk about this electrification, transportation conversation. Metro is having it. I was just in a meeting with faithless with Metro and all the work that they're doing. That's why for those that don't know, there's a big old school going up on Vermont and Manchester. Why? Because what the state and the government recognizes is that if they're going to maintain this electrification wave, they got to start training our babies. So there's a whole entire school for those that live in Los Angeles going up on Vermont and Manchester, and the school is a transportation school. Why? Because they got to fill in. They got to start training. They got to start educating. They got to start building a skill set within our community for people that will lead in these jobs, lead in management, lead in decision making. And so the wave is not coming. It's here. And if you and if we're not having these conversations, we're going to get left behind. And they're going to be mad that somebody else is doing that. And you're like, well, we got left out. No, you will not be able to say that if you know me, because you heard it here.
often,
You heard it here. And this ain't the first time Charles and I have had these conversations. So I really want to encourage you all. I thought that was an apartment building. Alfie, one structure is an apartment building, and right next door to it is a school. So there's the school. They started to build the school first, then the funding got held up, and then the apartment building started going up. And so that's why it looks like the apartment building is bigger and it's moving faster, because housing is a big deal and they got to get the apartments up. But right next door to that big old apartment building is where the school will be. And the school, it was brought to us by Philip, what was Philip's last name? He was the president of Metro here in LA. I can't think of his, I want to say Williams. Philip, what was Philip's? Give me, he's, thank you, find the last name for me. But he made sure that school got off the ground and started. So it's going to be a whole school around electric transportation, because they got to start. Phil Washington, thank you. He was the past director of Metro. And so he made sure that school got started and is being built now. Why? Because they recognize that there's a pool. To Dorsey's point, who's going to do the work? the politicians made the decisions, but someone's got to do the work. Someone's got to lead in these jobs and management from every level. And so we cannot afford to be left out of the table on this issue around electrification. And so, Felicia, I'm so glad you said I'm down, because you're gonna be one of those I'm gonna be calling on. And you know, again, I'm very open. You know, my show tonight is sponsored by another show I'm gonna be doing, is sponsored by Southern California Edison. Why? Because I got a grant with them to talk about pre-owned electric vehicles, their rebate program, which is available for anyone that is looking to buy a car. Maybe you weren't thinking about it, but why not think about it? Mm-hmm. And while they are doing rebates, checks in the mail, this again is an opportunity for those that are trying to make a shift and then have your economics boosted in the midst of it. So, you know, that's what we're doing. That property is my company's. Then you need to talk to your company. You need to broker the deal with your on your company's behalf. Tell them to help. Tell them you need access to get a deal going for the property owner. They may not have time for the meetings, but you can. Great location that needs hope. Absolutely, Alfie. Yeah, that was why Phil Washington put the school there. That was Phil Washington's decision, and it was an intentional decision. To your point, it's a great location, but it's also in our community, so our young people can take advantage of it. So we were at the LA Auto Show.
That's correct.
And Charles and I we've done the auto show. Well, not during the pandemic.
No, we did it during the pandemic. It was virtual.
No, that's right. We did a virtual. We sure did.
Goodness.
But we've been in these and I, you know, I'm there because of Charles, and there are a lot of faith leaders Charles has invited.
That's true.
Some have maintained and some have fallen off, but we're still at it.
Yeah, and I want to say that there have been benefits that were kind of not foreseen. Right? And somebody has to be in that seat to continue to show that we actually care about these issues. We've been trying to produce more jobs. We've been trying, so when I was thinking about, Najuma, when I was thinking about if I could get, I used to be a youth pastor, that. And I was thinking about how I would have anywhere from 20 to 30 young people in a room. Right. And those students would be looking to graduate. Some of those students would be looking to get jobs. And I was thinking about the content that I would be offering. And I was thinking about the labor, because, if you've been in ministry, you got to create something new every week. And that's a real struggle. Every week. I thought to myself, wait a minute. These people are trying to offer transformational information. So my need is I need somebody else to come in and do some teaching. Right. Their need is opportunity, the kids' need. And the people who are trying to advance this have a need to get the information out to real people. Absolutely. That seems like an overlapping opportunity. So they take their money, they give it to the place that I am employed at. I provide the space for them to do the teaching. I get a break. Seems like a win-win-win-win-win for me. And the students get access to real people, real opportunity in a place that started as a spiritual development opportunity, but turned into a tangible opportunity. Absolutely. So you take that particular example and you translate it into any other space where people are gathering, and you really do have an opportunity. Right? That's just right off the bat. But to my entrepreneurs who are looking to see what businesses you're trying to start, this is a real good industry to get into, right? What can you do? Because nothing's off the table yet. I mean, literally, they don't. So we had a brainstorm. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. We had like this session at the last, and I was blessed to lead moderate the conversation, and we challenged folks to think about like how we can manifest this electrification in our communities and the ideas that were sparked, which means nothing's off the table for. So go back to entrepreneurs. So I mean, entrepreneurs, you should be paying really, really close attention, and and I'm talking to anybody who even thinks of yourself as an entrepreneur. Number one, if you're an entrepreneur, you need to have an entity that allows you to be able to receive money, not to yourself, but to the entity itself. Absolutely. So go ahead and get that done. But you have to ask yourself now, what types of opportunities can I bring to this space? A lot of money on the table. The goal is to expand this market in the city. And you also know, and it's going to happen with or without us. With or without you, right? So you might as well be in part of the process. So at first I was telling people, hey, go ahead and open up. If you're an electrician and you do not have a part of your business that either installs the types of plugs that you need to charge electric vehicles. It's the same electricity. It's just a different type of plug. If you haven't started that up, you need to go out and get that business. That's all day, every day. If you are a person who kind of does a little bit advanced electricity, like you do super infrastructure installations, then you could actually take on some of the deals. So let's just say there's an entire area, and it's an area that is populated by the target community, then you can actually have that contract. You're going to install all of those. Any installation that needs to happen there, they can come through you. And that's at least $1 million contract, no question about it. And then if you are the kind of person that does workforce development and you like to put people to work, but you don't have the curriculum to train them, the people who actually want people to do the work have the training. You just go to them and say, I got the space, I have the heart, we have the mission, now give us the money and give us the curriculum, and within 6 months, within 3 months, we're going to guarantee you a pool that represents the target audience that you're going after, and you don't have to do nothing but give me the money and give me the paperwork. I mean, seriously, that's a deal every day of the week.
It's just that simple,
And so just trying to get people to think, about how they can be part of this conversation. Last thing I want to say is this. Some of us, we are thinking real small. I'm gonna tell you, Najuma,
Dorsey,
I'm on different coasts.
Yeah.
And as California goes, so goes the country.
Else.
And I'm telling you, and I can't because I want to tell y'all everything. But
it's no cap.
I'm saying,
he literally goes from LA to Miami.
Yeah, back and forth. And I'm saying they having these conversations on the East Coast. I'm like, yo, we way ahead. So now I can monetize on the other side of the country. Like, yo, let me share this game with you. Let me tell you who you need to talk to. Let me tell you who you can convene. Let me tell you how you can convene them. Let me tell you what this has done for the public reputation, the private reputation. Let me show you how we've been able to build the types of relationships. Let me show you how the governor benefited. Let me show you how the banks benefited. Let me show you how the community leaders benefited. Let me show you how these young people benefited. And y'all gonna pay me for telling you all this because you're gonna pay for my time. But I'm gonna give you this game and you're gonna put this together. And I actually have a model to point to. So now if they want somebody else to talk to, I'm like, yo, Jew, you want to come to Miami? Which I have said. And I was like, yo, come through, have this conversation, write it off real quick, and then go put your feet in the water. But I'm just saying, like, these are opportunities that are just right there. And if you just are missing these conversations, like, all right, so the last thing I'll say is this. Even if you don't know what it is, just come in the room and say, yo, tell me how I could take advantage of this. Because the game happens in the room. Okay? And I'm like, okay, what you do? I bet. Try this, because I don't want to do it.
And we can, and there's so much opportunity. When we had the convening on Father's Day weekend, there was a young man in the room who's an entrepreneur. And he was so fired up that based upon what he does as an entrepreneur, that we connected him with Southern California Edison, and that conversation took off. And the next thing I know, he was emailing me saying, thank you, I talked to so-and-so, I met so-and-so, I had a lunch with so-and-so, and I don't know where things are right now, but I know it took off for him. And so we're going to get into your entrepreneur program because this ties right in. And just in case you didn't understand what Dorsey was saying, hey, y'all, as y'all come on in, tap, heart, love, and shout out to everyone that's listening on iHeart, iTunes, Accelerated Radio. If you're just tuning in, we are talking tonight a little bit about electrification with my guy, Dr. Dorsey. We're talking about entrepreneurship, and we're going to get more into your entrepreneurship program, and then we're going to close out on one little final thought. But in case you didn't understand what he was saying, all this data and information and learnings that Dr. Dorsey established these last 8 or 9 years working with Southern California Edison and EV and Cal ETC and all this stuff here, he's transferred it to the East Coast and now is establishing a whole nother platform around the same conversation on a whole nother side of the country. Why? Because there's opportunity. So if you are an entrepreneur, we want to encourage you, especially our young entrepreneurs who have great minds, great ideas. There is the door right now is very wide open in the space of electrification, especially around transportation. It doesn't just have to be go buy a Tesla. But let me tell you what I saw. And some of y'all seen this before with Tesla. But I want to tie it back to the entrepreneurship, then I want to talk about your program. I was in a parking lot. My daughter had Girl Scout meeting, and one of the mothers pulled up, and she was talking to another mother, and she was like, yeah, let me show you what my Tesla can do. She gets out the Tesla car, she pushes a button, and the Tesla begins to play Christmas music. And while the Tesla's booming Christmas music, the windows are going up and down, the trunk is closing, the lights are flashing, and what Tesla has done is has installed an app in the car that literally plays its own light show through the car. I was like, wait, what? The Tesla does its own light show, and the music is loud enough. So at night, of course, it wasn't dark, but at night, imagine if you're parked in front of your house and you want to entertain your neighbors. Now, let me tie this back to entrepreneurship. Somebody had to make that app. Somebody had to program that app. Somebody in the room with Tesla, or maybe not Tesla, some other company that works with Tesla, that partners, that uploads stuff to their system, had to create that app. Somebody had to do that. And it's probably some young kid who's 16 years old, some little nerdy little 16-year-old who's like, oh, here's what we could do with electric vehicles. Play some music and let your windows go up and down. I was amazed. I was like, who is the genius who did that app? Mm-hmm. So the point being, it sure does. Yeah, Felicia has a Tesla. She understands. The point being is that it's not just about buying the vehicle. Yes, of course, at some point we're going to all have to buy one because that's the wave of the future. Yeah. But in the meantime, in between time, there are all these layers, all these ways that you can engage and be a part of electrification. And for those of you that are techie people and apps, listen, all these electric vehicles they are moving computers. And the reason we love our cell phones is because we can download apps. Listen, those of you that are entrepreneurs that like to build apps, you need to get on these apps for these cars. Get on these apps for these electric vehicles. I'm just trying to tell you because the door right now is wide open. So, Dorsey, we're talking about entrepreneurship. So we're shifting the conversation. We're still on electrification, but we're shifting it into entrepreneurship. Because not only does Dorsey talk about electrification and electric vehicles and why we have to be a part of, not just in the conversation, but in the rooms, at the tables. Dr. Dorsey, also, you train on entrepreneurship. So let's talk about your program real quick.
That's a fact. I'm trying to do this really quickly. So if you're watching and you got a good
hear, 12 minutes.
Yeah, so please take this number down, 41372. Type that into the chat. 41372. I want you to type that into your text line. And then I want you to text the word, one word, more 2024, more 2024. All right. For those of you who don't know, I'm an entrepreneur. Been an entrepreneur for now going on 6 years, but unofficially like 16 daggone years. We'll talk about that another day.
You said type the word more?
Yeah, more 2024. Okay. One of the things that oftentimes evades emerging and current entrepreneurs is what people do. The question you asked right at the beginning of the show, like, how do you keep it going? Yeah. And I actually sit down, plan and strategize in the area of finances and faith. Yeah, come on, Dorsey. And so I said to myself, I do this every year. Me and my lady, we sit down. Some of you guys know this is vision boarding. Yeah. But we're doing this specific to entrepreneurship. Yeah. So we're having a business/product success masterclass. We're going to do that, and that's on Thursday, the 9th. And then we're actually doing a real-time planning masterclass. By the way, you have never really sat in a planning masterclass where I'm going to sit and you're going to get the same tools. We're going to answer the same questions. We're going to set the same goals. And for the first 90 days of the year, you're going to have your plan leaving that masterclass. And so if you send more 2024 to that particular message, and I got it up in front of me, so y'all don't be playing with me telling me you did. I'm going to send you access to that. It is virtual, so don't tell me. Yeah, it's like I ain't got no time. If you don't get your tail on your computer, make time, right, to be able to do this, but I'm going to share the secret sauce of the plan itself. Yeah. And we're going to deal with some of the hard questions, and we're going to talk about the things that we don't need to worry about, and we're going to talk about how we actually get there. Yeah. And we're focusing on finance. So how much money do you really want to make? Yeah. And do you actually have the plan straight to make it? Right? Dorsey. So I'm going to just be, can I please, y'all, some of y'all going to judge me because y'all ain't never heard me talk like this. Y'all ain't never heard me talk like this. But I'm going to be honest with you. Like, the plan this year is to do, what is it, 150,000 by March.
Come on.
And I'm planning that. Like, I actually have the dates, and I only have to reach 12 people.
Wow.
Y'all messing with me. See, y'all don't even want to know about that. Let me brought my voice. My voice then went up. I just started. So the reason why I can talk about that is because my relationship with money has changed.
Yeah, come on, talk about that, Dorsey.
Right? Like, you have to be okay being in relationship. Money is not the God. I have a means. I have mission attached to that. But some people can't even imagine touching 12 people and that translating to $150,000, which for some people is pennies in the bucket. But for some of y'all, like, oh my God, that's my salary in 5 years. Okay, bet. So if somebody can think about how to get your salary that takes you 3 years and 3 months, why wouldn't you want to get in that room?
Right.
And so actually, Najuma, I'm giving access today. I took like $10 off of it. It's virtual, like $30. If you can't spend $30 to get in the room, I'm sorry. I can't help you. I'm not going to go on the show and do this. It's just going to be here. But
hey, Aunt Penny, I want you to get all the young people in Bogalusa because it's virtual, which means, Aunt Penny, everybody in Bogalusa can participate because it's virtual.
Absolutely.
So Aunt Penny, have all the young people, everybody in Bogalusa to text the number 41372, and to that number text more in 2024. Because it's a virtual course. I'm going to be in there, not as listen, I've learned to be in the room and get information and soak it in and observe and apply. And so I want to encourage everyone. So Aunt Penny, since y'all in Bogalusa, have everyone in Bogalusa text the number 41372 and type more for 2024, more 2024. Mm-hmm. But listen, everyone on iHeart, iTunes, Accelerated Radio, and all my Facebook Livers, y'all do it now, do it tonight. Get the discount and pay the discounted rate and go ahead and register. Go ahead and be a part. I know you say I don't have it. You don't have it not to spend.
That's right.
To get the information, to learn the steps, to learn the process, to multiply your income and to change out what I really appreciate you saying, most of all, Dorsey, your relationship with money.
Yeah.
If you can change, and my book is Change Your Mind Flow, you can change your cash flow, and it comes out of this same understanding that when I can change.
I need that, but I need that.
You need that book? I got you. I'll run that. I'll run that to you.
What are we talking about right now?
Listen, change your mind flow, you change your cash flow. It's just a fact, and my book is spiritually based, so it's biblically based, meaning that there's scriptures to support that, right?
Listen.
So it's about changing your not just your mindset, but also your spiritual understanding how we are to look at money and look at finances. So and if you can change that, you can change your cash flow. It's just a fact. It's just a fact.
So why would people pay to come into the room? Most of the time, people have the skill. They just don't have the thinking. Absolutely. You want to know
and the guide.
How people who deal with higher levels of revenue, you want to know how they think.
Yeah.
Right?
They think differently. They think differently.
Like Najuma, let me real talk. I'm going to one of this guy, he's a multimillionaire. I said, yo, this is all I want. I just want to come to your house and spend a day with you.
Absolutely.
He said, what are we going to do? I said, I don't care what you do. Whatever.
I just want to listen to you, right?
I just want to watch.
They think differently, absolutely.
Because their relationship with money is altogether different.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, man, so that will pay me for years.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So one investment can take you so far, and this isn't even an investment. So let me just say this: some of y'all spend $30 on. You spent $30 on your dinner tonight, and you didn't get nothing but a sandwich. No, you
spend more than that.
I mean, I'm saying
anywhere in LA, you spend more unless you ate at 7-Eleven.
That after church brunch be going
unless
for 50.
You ate at 7. But even then, 7-Eleven is running high. So if you get a drink and one of them dry pizzas, you close to $30
every day. And so the other thing is, we also have to.
Hey, y'all.
I want to say, like, learning to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
So as a parent, I kind of have had to have this reconciliation moment because it was nothing for me to give all of my money to the advancement of my kid.
Come on.
And if I didn't find myself in a relationship with somebody and I loved them, it's nothing for me to give all of my money to the advancement of that relationship. But when I look in the mirror, I have the nerve to look at myself and say that costs too much.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
That is crazy,
that I would inhabit this body for as long as I have and invest this much time in trying to just survive survive and thrive, and then dare look at myself in the mirror and say,
Dorsey,
that's too expensive. Are you kidding me? Like, why would I have that perspective about myself when I've been in this thing for so long? And why is it so easy for me to invest in other people and not see the value in myself? See, that's really where it's at.
That's the scary part.
Just trying to get you to see that despite what you've been through, despite what people shame you for, despite what people remind you of, you have maintained your value. I'm gonna hold this here for a second, that you've maintained your value. And the truth is, anything that maintains its value over time costs more the longer it exists. So now you are actually an ancient piece of material that people have to pay just to be in the presence of. That's where I'm at right now. I've been in this thing for 40 plus years. I am literally an artifact. You got to pay to be in my I'm a museum piece. You understand what I'm saying? And I got game from 40 years ago, but my value has been maintained over time, and I'm trying to show you how to do that despite all of the challenges and despite all of that stuff. That mentality will actually teach you how to relate with opportunity in ways that give you more, more access. I'm just saying, like, if you value yourself.
If you value yourself. And this is a value conversation. This is if I value myself, value my family. No, you haven't said too much. No, please, sir. No, you saying a whole lot of you are blessing us. So listen, y'all. This is about value. This is about how you value yourself, but also value your family, value your future. And I want to encourage everyone I know, those that are watching on my Facebook Livers, those that are watching the replay,
hey, y'all.
Those that are listening on iHeart, iTunes, Accelerated Radio, this is a great opportunity. We started talking about electrification and getting in that industry, and now there's a plethora of opportunity for entrepreneurs. And Dr. Dorsey also kind of come back around to say, not only should entrepreneurs be thinking about this space, but I want to show y'all how to do it with my Entrepreneur Masterclass. So if you're interested in them, no, not if, everyone should be interested. Text 41372. Text the word MORE 2024. Is it all one word?
One word, no spaces. Capital M.
All one word, MORE 2024. Capital M, MORE 2024. All one word. And register. Get in the room. He's got a discount going right now. So there's no reason for you and I not to participate. Because why? Why not? Why not bless yourself? Why not invest in yourself? Why not do the things that can enhance your life from where it is right now? You might have a great life, but why not do what you can to enhance that by investing in it? And so, Dr. Dorsey, here's what I want to do, because I said when I put out the promotion for tonight's show that if you are a caller tonight, so you have 5 minutes to call in. If you're listening, iHeart, iTunes, Accelerated Radio, on my Facebook Livers, I have I'm going to put you on my Christmas gift list. So I need you to call in.
Gift?
I need you to call in 310-910-9676. Hit extension 1 310-910-9676. You got 5 minutes. If someone calls in 310-910-9676, hit extension 1. I'm gonna put you on my Christmas gift list. So call in if you're listening. iTunes, iHeart, Accelerated Radio, on my Facebook Livers. You got 4.5 minutes now to call in 310-910-9676 at extension 1. And whoever calls in first gets to be on my Christmas gift list. So that's that. So if that's you, call in and get on the Christmas gift list. Don't ask me what you're going to get. You're going to be on my Christmas gift list. Christmas not until December 25th. But call in and so you can be on Juju's Christmas gift list. 310-910-9676. 9676. Hit extension 1. You got 4 minutes to call in. But Dorsey, real quick, this last little bit I want to talk about tonight. Sure. November was Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and all my guests were men last month, and we talked about men's mental health. In these last 5 minutes that we have tonight's show, I'd love to hear from you about what are some things that you have been seeing, thinking about, experiencing as it relates to men and their mental health. Since I have you, I just want to have you drop a little bit on that tonight. Men's mental health.
When I think about men's mental health, I think about relationships, but I also think about communication. And I want to remind people that the man who is not talking does not mean that he's not communicating. And his silence is oftentimes very loud, but you cannot hear it. I really want to talk to the people who, And let me just talk to the brothers, because just let me talk to you, my brother. If your strategy for coping has been silence, if you have just accepted that nobody's going to hear you, nobody's going to see you, nobody's going to appreciate you.
Yeah.
If you've gotten to the place where you've begun to lean into unproductive, medicating habits that you once graduated from. If that's you, I want you to hear me really, really clearly.
Yeah.
I want to say to you, before you get out of this year, find somebody to talk to.
Come on.
You may not be able to find it in your home, but find somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Just to simply learn how to talk again.
Yeah.
That the muscle that we have built has created toxicity inside and tolerance outside. And what that eventually leads to is self-destruction.
Wow.
So I would encourage you to find somebody to talk to that will listen to you, not ask you questions, because most of the time you're not looking for answers. You're just looking to be heard and looking to be seen. And if you are looking for a place, right, I'd like to extend to them the work that we're doing with Fathers and Sons Speak.
I love it.
I want to give you that. If you just go to the website, www.fathersandsonspeak.com, we got a whole podcast set up just for you to tell your story. We've got lines. All you have to do is say, hey, bro, I want to talk. And we will literally put the link together and get on the line and listen to you. And you can talk as long as you want to talk. And what we do is try to give back to you what we've heard. Most of the time we're hearing a strong, resilient, passionate man. A man who has given his life to some really positive things, a man who has strong shoulders, and a brother who is just hoping that somebody would finally acknowledge the sacrifice that he has made. And so I would just say, find somebody to talk. Do not take the silence into next year. Your life is too valuable, and we need to hear from you.
I love it. Thank you, Dr. Dorsey.
Sure.
Again, you got about 3 more minutes. Call in 310-910-9676 extension 1 and get on Juju's Christmas list. Call in and get on my Christmas. Call in and get on the Christmas list. But Dr. Dorsey, let everybody know where they can find you for the Entrepreneur Program, for your Fathers and Sons Speaks podcast, and then also for the work that you're doing in this area of electrification.
I can be reached on Instagram at the Dr. Dorsey. That's my handle, THE, D as in door, R as in rainbow, and my last name, Dorsey, Dorsey. You can drop a DM. You can actually go to my page and find a whole bunch of tips and stuff there that we've been posting for the balance of the year. But anything that you send me there, you can get access to. So you get access to the Fathers and Sons Speak work. You can get access to any kind of business acumen that we are offering. And you can get access to just sort of having some conversation with me that I think would be helpful.
I love it. I love it. It's always a pleasure. Again, shout out to our sponsor for tonight's show, Southern California Edison, and the pre-owned electric vehicle rebate program. Y'all, please Google that. Please Google that. Please go check it out. Do not wait until the cash portion of the rebate is ran out, because once it runs out, then you know how that rebate works. It ties onto your loan or to your financing, but you want to go ahead and get your cash back. So this is an opportunity for that to still happen. So check out the rebate program. Thanks. Shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to my guest tonight, Dr. Dorsey.
Thank you. We in the building.
Dr. Dorsey at the Dr. Dorsey. So follow him on Instagram. Sign up tonight for the Entrepreneur Program, which will help those of you that want to get into this space around and with the electrification. Caller, they hung up. Caller, call back. Don't hang up. But text for to enter into the masterclass on entrepreneurship, getting your business together, getting it launched, establishing your finance so you know your target, what you're going to make. Text the number 41372 and type all one word, more 2024. The number is 41372. Text to that number the word more 2024. And then you'll get an automatic set up to do the class. I think we got a caller at the last minute. We got a call at the last minute.
Winner.
Caller, are you there?
Najuma, tell Najuma, I said, beautiful job. This is Donnell Rivers running for governor in the state of Washington.
What's up, Donnell Withers?
What's up, lady?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
I love it. Well, wait, you're calling in the state of where? You're the governor where?
I'm running for governor.
Running for governor.
To be the first black governor in the state of Washington.
Wow.
In the state of... Oh, wait, you know what? I know who this is. Hi.
What's up, my lady?
What's
Beautiful
up?
Job.
Oh, I appreciate you. Well, guess what? You're gonna be on my Christmas list. So I'm gonna put you back with Bankhead who answers the phone, and please quickly give him.
Tell the doctor I said beautiful job.
He can hear you.
Together.
Dr. Dorsey can hear you.
Dr. Dorsey, I got people in Portland, Oregon. We're gonna link a bridge from Washington State to Portland, Oregon, to be the first black governor, and we're gonna move things. We're gonna stop a lot of this crime and move forward.
Hey, wait, when is the election?
2024.
2024.
Yeah, so listen, man, there's going to be a contingent of really, really powerful men in the state of Washington in March. I'd love to kind of stay connected to you. You should drop through and come and say what's up.
Well, you can't come through with that. They call me the ace in the hole in the state of Washington.
Hey, you got to be here.
Come to my... Even Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton don't come without me knowing it.
All right. I love it. I'm so glad you called. Well, you're officially on my Christmas list.
Look,
and
I love you people
I love you
for
too.
what y'all are doing. This is, you know what? Something got to change.
Yes. Right. Absolutely.
And it's all in God's hands. So thank you. I'm going to get off there.
I appreciate you. Yes.
I love you guys.
Love you
Bye-bye.
too. I appreciate you. Oh, my people in Washington listening. What? I love it. I will definitely connect you.
For
Powerful.
Sure.
He and I met on a trip to Seoul, Korea. Listen, y'all. Thank you so very much for being tuned in for another wonderful episode of Living on Side Radio with your girl, Dr. Najuma. If you did make my Christmas list tonight, you got next week to try again. Get on my Christmas list. Y'all go ahead and link up with Dr. Dorsey tonight. Do not slip. Do not slip. The link up tonight. We'll see y'all next week. We out. Peace.